So what in the world is going on here? Got an update today on Danny Boyle's upcoming iPhone shot movie 28 years later. So if you've been paying attention to social media recently, you probably saw this image of a guy who looks like he's infected, a zombie, something going on with him. But the main point is he's surrounded by 20 iPhones on this weird rig. And everyone was kind of shocked to see that, myself included. We all knew that the new movie was being shot on iPhone, at least most of it. There's some debate right now whether the whole movie shot on iPhone or just select scenes. Everything I've seen in the trailer looks like iPhone to me. But regarding this 20 camera rig, that is what Danny Boyle is calling a poor man's Bullet-Time effect. Think of the Matrix, I'm assuming, where the camera looks like it's spinning around or the person looks like they're spinning around in space. Now, I did a previous breakdown video about what I thought was going on, and most of my guesses I think were pretty accurate, but now we have a much clearer picture. And they did shoot on Beastgrip gear, and we have the photos now to prove it. And Beastgrip actually did a blog post about it. It's based on an IGN article about the new information, the tech side of the way the movie was made. So I'm going to quote here from the article. A standout image featured by IGN shows a rig comprised of 20 iPhones, each housed in a Beast cage for iPhone, what appears to be Beastgrip anamorphic lenses, based on the lens shape and the widescreen aspect ratio visible in the Blackmagic app preview. And by the way, they are shooting on the Blackmagic Camera app. These iPhones are arranged in a semicircle bullet-time configuration, enabling a sweeping perspective for action sequences. So again, sort of like the Matrix, but I'd never seen a rig like this. It's a custom-made rig. It's pretty cool. The article continues. Boyle explained that this multi-camera rig is a poor man's Bullet-Time, allowing flexibility during shooting. There is an incredible shot in the second half of the film where we use the 20 rig camera, Boyle said. It's quite graphic, but it's a wonderful shot that uses that technique, and in a startling way that kind of kicks you into the world rather than thinking you've seen it before. So that's pretty interesting, and again, Danny Boyle has always pushed boundaries, and I look forward to seeing how he's using the iPhone, not just shooting the movie, but again, on this wild rig. And he used it more than one time. There's another shot of a guy running down like some water in a cave or some sort of cavern. It looks like, it's hard to tell what it is, but I showed that in the previous video from the trailer, and I don't know if it was that main rig or whether it was an effect shot, but the photo looks really cool. I'm gonna quote the article again here. Another BTS shot depicts a crane-mounted setup using iPhones to capture a dramatic water scene. And so it's kind of the same setup we saw before, but it's on a crane, which is, again, pretty cool. And of course, that's big budget filmmaking, even though they're shooting on the phone. And then another image they shared shows the Beastgrip DOF adapter MK3, which I have right here in my hand. Now, they're using a completely different lens. This is just a Rokinon. They're using Mercury big anamorphic lenses, but they're using the same rig. The main thing is, though, this is an EF mount, and to my understanding, the version they use is a PL mount, which by reading the article, it sounds like they adapted on their own, not through Beastgrip. Quoting from the article here, the BTS content highlights a creative mix of Beast Cage for iPhone 15 Pro combined with DOF adapter MK3, custom retrofitted for PL mount, the Beast Rail support, and it's also paired with the Atlas 72mm Mercury series, showcasing a blend of smartphone flexibility and cine quality optics. Now, one thing I don't know is whether Beastgrip helped them with that or they did it on their own, because it's unclear. When I talked to Vadim, the owner and founder of Beastgrip, on my original video, he couldn't say, and I thought he was being, like he signed an NDA or something, but he didn't know. I think they got the gear and did it on their own, but I don't know about the PL mount because they did a short film, and I covered that in a previous video too, and I'm going to quote here from the article again. We've also utilized Mercury lenses with our concept PL DOF adapter during the production of the O2 film. The Mercury lenses are known for delivering rich cinematic visuals with distinctive anamorphic characteristics, offering exceptional bokeh and organic flares. So if you've seen that short, one thing you'll notice compared to whenever I'm using a DOF adapter, like this setup right here, I get the big focus vignette, which, you know, can look kind of cool, gives it character, but I'm not seeing that at all in the Danny Boyle movie, and we didn't see it in the Beastgrip short. But the Beastgrip short, they were using a prototype DOF, not the MK3. So I don't know if adapting it to PL fixes that, or If it's just something they did in post, maybe they pushed past it, they shot wider because they're shooting anamorphic, and they pushed in past the actual focus vignette. That's one thing you can do. You, of course, lose image quality, but depending on how you're mastering it, may not be a big deal because you're shooting in 4K. And they did again shoot widescreen. From the IGN article, they report that the crew utilized an impressive 2.76 to 1 widescreen aspect ratio, an unusual choice typically reserved for epic formats like IMAX or Ultra Panavision 70mm to deliver an immersive feel to the audience. And so you can do that. Of course, you can crop, but with the 1.55x anamorphic, you can shoot that on a phone. So I'm assuming that's what they did. And then they reframed in post as needed. Now, when you're shooting with the anamorphic, you're not using the DOF adapter though. I'm talking about the Beastgrip, like on the rig shots. My assumption is they did that on those effect shots, but on the traditional cameras they showed on the tripod, they used the DOF adapter. And then one big question I had in my original video is, why do you shoot a $70 million movie on iPhones? And they answer that in the article again. Boyle and Garland's decision to shoot with iPhone stems from the ethos of 28 Days Later, which used digital video for its raw, immediate feel. Boyle remarked, "Since domestic video cameras were everywhere at that time in 2002, if an apocalypse did happen, there would be lo-fi recordings of the horror lying around everywhere. Taking that idea 28 years later, the iPhone was, of course, that now ubiquitous version of 2002's camcorder. The difference, of course, is now today is that iPhones can shoot cinema quality video, in particular shooting Apple Log in 4K. The camcorders in 2002 shot SD video, which compared to today is, I mean, honestly, it kind of looks like garbage. Go back and watch 28 Days Later, the movie doesn't look good. I mean, it looks cool for what it is, and it's a great movie, but compared to what you can achieve today from a tech quality, it is night and day. Now, of course, Steven Soderbergh and others have shot with iPhones. Tons of indie films have shot with iPhones. Sean Baker famously shot Tangerine on iPhones, but most of those movies looked like they were shot on iPhones. Now, it'll be interesting to see if this movie looks like it was shot on an iPhone. It sounds like it's going to, based on the description, like they played into that look. But keep in mind, now, today, again, you can make your phone match in with almost any kind of camera. I have a new feature film coming soon that I shot with a Red Komodo, and I used iPhone for insert shots, and they edit in seamlessly. Now, I'm not talking about side-by-side shots per se, although you could do that. I'm talking about insert shots and such. But today you can really do it. And of course you can shoot an entire movie on a phone, just like Danny Boyle and others have proved. So like I always say, don't wait to create. Get out there and make your movie. And by the way, when this movie comes out in just a few weeks, I'll go see it and I'll probably do a review on this channel about not only the film, but the way I thought it looked as compared to shooting with a traditional camera. Thanks for watching. This is Blake Calhoun. Please like, subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.